Hello. I'm definitely honored to be your 2013 commencement speaker. I really believe in Sterling College and the agricultural experiential programs that exist here. I know of a couple of the students in person, as well as some of the faculty and trustees, and it's really a privilege to be invited to speak to you folks. I was asked early in the spring to be the speaker. I received a phone call from the president, and I really had to pause to reflect, to think about what was happening there. I had a mixture of emotions, surprise, some pride, some nervousness, some anxiety. When I got off the phone, I really wasn't prepared to commit to speak, and being as the schedule is so intense this time of year. So it took a little while to think this through. So the first thing I did was check my 9th edition of the Webster's Dictionary. I got a hardbound book that tells me what words mean. So I looked in commencement, and it's an act, an instance, or time of commencing. So I looked a couple words down, and commence is to begin, to initiate, or to start. So that sort of rang true for me. I had to think about it a step further, though, and to really help with my decision, I asked myself, why had I been selected, and of what subject I would speak? I feel like I've been selected because my personal journey is really similar to the students at Sterling. To clarify, I think you could definitely have picked someone who's famous or funny or some politician or celebrity or something like that. But I think instead I was chosen because of this path that I've chosen to follow. In 1995, I graduated from college as well. I received my BS in Environmental Conservation from the University of Colorado. And I can tell you, in the early 1990s, Boulder was a very hip place to be. It was very cool. Lots of bike paths and hip people and Whole Foods and 300 days of sunshine. And it's just I don't know. It is a very attractive place when I was interested in going to school there. And I definitely excelled academically, but overall my college experience was very hollow. I learned a lot about the troubles of the world, the war, the famine, the pollution, the resource depletion, the climate change, and the corporate imperialism. But my college education offered little in terms of viable, concrete actions that would mitigate these global problems. And so without offering alternatives, my higher education experience painted a bleak, depressing picture of doom and gloom. Another negative part of my higher education experience was the anonymous nature of this institution. For the most part, I was recognized in the school system by my 9-digit Social Security number. And with a few notable exceptions, my connections with the faculty and other students in Boulderlandia were pretty superficial. So instead of attending the graduation ceremony on the AstroTurf of the football arena, my parents and I went camping in Utah. After graduation, I was really driven to learn to address the problems that are so evident in the world around us. And instead of the hand-wringing and the protest against the problems of this pollution, resource depletion, climate change, socioeconomic inequality, I wanted to be part of a proactive solution. During college, it had become increasingly clear to me that the problems on the earth are stemming from the exploitation pattern based on our insatiable consumerism. While my studies had alluded to alternatives to the fossil fuel corporate economic construct that predominates, we were given few examples, models, and demonstrated alternative practices in my education. I knew that to be effective in finding alternatives, I would have to become more proficient not only intellectually, but also with my hands. So I traveled around the United States, from Arizona to Montana, North Carolina. I was in the Virgin Islands for a while, in Washington State, working at different farms and construction projects, seeking knowledge in farming, sustainable construction, and community living. So from these variable climates and living circumstances, I began to formulate a plan for occupying land more permanently. Thus, in 1997, as I was working construction as a carpenter in Alaska, I was excited to get a call from my mom. My mother informed me that my great aunt Edith needed assistance on her farm in New Hampshire. My Aunt Dee and Uncle Delbert homestead was really ripe for an influx of agriculturalists. Since DAcres was founded, 200 residential donors, as well as provided education and services for the surrounding communities. We constructed a multiplex to serve as our base of operations. We're practicing a model of community-scale farming and permaculture, including no-till gardening, forestry, construction, animal husbandry, and renewable energy systems. At this point, the project is in its 16th year, and it has been an innovative and successful approach to living sustainably. We've been recognized globally for our efforts seeking alternatives to this rat race we call convention in North American culture. At this point, I really, and I'm noticing it more and more, I'm really proud to call myself a farmer. So in terms of why I was chosen, I think it's because while our goal has been to simplify and reduce the stress of our lives, this course has been difficult and challenging. It is my perception that to address the challenges of the future, we will have to have a cadre of innovative activists who can work collectively. We need to bring together groups of people with skills and experience at organizing for the common good. To follow this course demands a willingness to fail, the ability and perseverance to follow your intuition, as well as courage. We must endeavor to experiment, to seek the alternatives, and attempt the possibilities, inasmuch we are modern-day explorers. So, as an explorer, I speak to you as peers. I speak to you recognizing the course that you, the graduating class of 2013, have chosen. You've selected an alternative course, defying the conventions of our era, to choose a righteous path that's less traveled. Compare an MBA from an Ivy League school to the deep and profound experience you have shared at Sterling. Compare the knowledge of managing an illusion of derivative-based hedge funds with the knowledge of how to grow your own food. Schools like Sterling and Evergreen and Prescott, College of the Atlantic, deserve consideration as the finest institutions in this country. These institutions offer a new paradigm in education that values the students and their positive role in society rather than their profit potential, especially in regards to your leadership this year in divesting from the fossil fuel-based investments in your endowment portfolio. To illustrate this, I have sort of a funny story to tell. This was several years ago, but we were having a problem at DAcres. The problem was that there was a mysterious person who was around who was not changing the toilet paper roll. So we had a special meeting. We brought it up, and so nobody really fessed up to it at that juncture. And then later on, there was a fella who was a graduate from an Ivy League institution in New Hampshire that I won't name. And he approached me and said, we need to talk. I don't know how to do this. He was serious. And I don't mean to mock him or mock the institution or somehow be indignant or something, but I'm really defiant in my belief that we can do better. simple mechanism. You just got to try problem solving. Well, I also like to speak to you as a comrade in community. I know what it is like to live closely with others for long periods of time. Related people. For us to progress as a species, we really must rekindle our capacity to work together. It is only through practice and persistence that we will transcend this contemporary glorification of the individual and restore the value of mutual aid and brotherly love. Now, folks, comes the challenge of acting upon what you know, taking the skills and knowledge and becoming a leader for our society. I've been very grateful to be associated with a large number of Sterling students through the years. I've always been impressed by their skills as well as their philosophy. I have a friend, Steve Ash, who graduated in the past 1992. We spent time after graduation sort of drifting around building snowboard parks. And he's really found himself lately. He's a super talented blacksmith. I'm a member of him, with him of a part of an art co-op. And just to see him blossom, he's like my age. And he's got his own shop. He does the work he loves. He's following his passion. And he's a great community participant. I have another friend, Hannah Volmer, who's the class of 2007. And I've seen Hannah quite a bit. And since she graduated, she moved on to her family land and lived in a school bus for a couple years. And then she built her own house on the land. And this past year, I was really excited because she got some pigs from us. Keeping on that journey. So now is your time to really find your niche and to activate. The period after my college graduation was super depressing because I really didn't know what to do or how to do anything. But for you folks to receive this extraordinary practice and training, our time is now. We must convene our human capacity and work together towards a sustainable future. So thank you very much for doing your part. I look forward to working together with you into the future.